chairs on my head. The room today, almost 2,000 people have registered to join us in Uyo. That growth happened because developers chose to learn Rust and build on Solana. It also happened because founders chose to launch products despite the difficulty of building companies in this market. And marketers help translate complex tech into stories and experiences people could understand. And so our loving partners, they give us resources, platforms, and distribution. Community members traveled, volunteered, organized events, and opened doors for one work of developers, operators, and investors across most of Nigeria. We have supported events, bounties, hackathons, education, mentorship, distribution, and access to global opportunities. Nigerians have not just market, the worst landscape reports identified Solana as the most active in the country. Nigeria 6th globally for Solana developer participation. Nigerian developers account for approximately 67% of active developers. That means roughly 2 out of every 3 on the African continent are Nigerians. Please give a round of applause. But are only part of the story, right? The bigger story is what those developers and the companies around them are now building. Nigeria's Solana ecosystem is moving from experimentation to infrastructure, from hackathon projects to venture-backed companies. Transaction volumes. We now have Nigeria and Africa-focused companies building or integrating Solana. And there's so many of them across payments, remittances, stablecoins, trading, savings, tokenized assets, credits, commerce, and Electrify, Evolution, Ramp, Base Markets, L-Base, Ophibox, Rust Undead, and many more. And this year we're seeing something a bit different, right? We've seen a shift in the kinds of companies that are also engaging with the Solana ecosystem. So we have established fintechs and investment platforms like Vest and HISA. We have Roku, we have Guess Equity, Brainest, Number, Panther, Daya, Brit, Bidnob, of others. These guys are no longer observing Solana from the sidelines. They're building, they're integrating, they're experimenting and bringing their users on-chain. Almost all are locally based or the regionally focused companies. Most of our sponsors, about 90% of them came. Now, what does that mean? Significant. Nigerian companies see regional commercial value in the Solana ecosystem to want to invest in it and also associate their businesses. Of this year's summit and markets. For many Africans, the first meaning was the ability to from anywhere in the world. It opportunities that location, the currency, or the tradition. Asset to open internet infrastructure For Nigeria and Africa, mean tokenized stocks and global capital. It also means that if from here, should be able to contribute to means a creator in Enugu should be able to access global financial structure without its location becoming a permanent disadvantage. Now, through technology alone, the consumer trust and the technical barrier to building the next major throughout the across product presentations, sessions exploring the future of internet in Africa. We have some represented here. Visit their booths, speak with their teams, and learn about what they're building. Your job is not just to collect the merch. Please ask questions, test products, and explore opportunities. We also have several important product announcements and ecosystem integrations happening on this stage today. Please do well to listen closely because some of what will be announced here represents the next phase of institutional and consumer adoption for Solana in Africa. Hosting a live trading competition. One is live right now. Sign up and start trading. There may be a Solana Breakpoint tickets with your name on it. Is for you. Do not introduce yourself to someone new. Speak to founders, ask difficult questions, visit the booths, learn something outside your immediate field, find a collaborator, apply for an opportunity, test the products, and before you leave Uyo, identify at least one concrete action you want to take to move this ecosystem forward. Because Super Team Nigeria is not just a company building an ecosystem for you, right? Super Team Nigeria is a proven that meaningful products can also it's about scale, more institutional participation in global markets. The future of internet capital markets will not it is not the Africans will help build it. Will be built right here in Nigeria on Solana. Once again, welcome to Uyo, welcome to the Fund Chain, and welcome to Solana Summit Nigeria 2026. I will leave here without thanking our sponsors, our partner speakers, and volunteers, organizers, and every member of the community who made this summit possible. Now, without much delay, please welcome my co-lead, Uzube Chukwezudo, as he comes on stage. Thanks, guys. Kill it.
How are we all doing today? Are you sure? Good. Okay, fine. So, thank you very much for being here today. We did this journey 3 years ago with all of you, or some of you, and we've grown to the point where we can bring a test together. So here, we promised when we started, right? Because at the used to earn, and we actually, I mean, numbers. We okay. This is acting up a bit. Yeah. So this is what we've achieved. Community GDP earned by all of you. That's around 2 billion naira in a year. Come on. Yeah. Companies within that time. $1 million in process volume, right? And in Super Team N, where we actually go to battle. Nigeria is constantly back again to what we actually you can earn on the page, the herbs, and some of them are today. Now, the thing is, okay, yeah. Now the thing is, we do have an issue with earning a loan. There's a ceiling, right? There's a limit to how much you can actually earn yourself away from where we're headed, right? The next chapter of our evolution would be around how can you now start owning stuff? And that is where we now see some gaps, right? So, I mean, you have your skill, you have your intelligence and everything, you've earned in bounties, but we do have a ceiling, right? And, okay. Yeah, so we have an ownership gap, right? S&P 500, we have equity. Okay, you hear me? So, better? Still bad? So do I have this? Are you okay with this? Okay, fantastic, yeah. Okay, so this is going to be weird, but hey, let's do it. So, you were locked out from some of the points that you've earned, but you don't know where to put it, right? And it's very important, right? So, like I said earlier, you wouldn't just keep owning something, right? And the most important is, right? And for, right? The way we can actually do this is you can buy it, right? Trade stocks or trade equities or how many? Yeah. Okay, so at least this is right there. The whole idea is that we where this is actually where we're now headed. markets is actually where everything is headed, meaning that we now need more owners, right? Start buying stuff with before. Yeah. Okay. Then after owning, you need to get to the point where you can actually now issue, right? Okay. So the problem with that is that sometimes you have what you're actually buying is not really what you're buying. It's not, you think you're buying equities, but it's not to the broker that owns it. But this is something that we've been able to solve on Solana with, and you can trade stocks now with Onjo. Now the problem, however, is that okay, the problem, however, right, and this can put everything together, with everything together, right? And have like one Nigerian door where you can actually access it. And in the super team, we have other things to use. We build our own, right? And it would be cheap from our community, and that's something we have actually done. So, for example, how many of you here knew when SpaceX launched? How many of you bought? Okay, great, yeah. So, I mean, we were lucky enough to have one of ours, Nexify. Give it up to Nexify. Yeah, we're happy to have actually buy you directly. And, I mean, it's very important to say this. But not only did we actually make it possible, one of us, and this could be one of you in a few years or in a few months, right? So it is something to look up to. If they could do it, you can do it. And you can build something that people are willing to own. So, on those things, we also, if you look at the slides, it's next. We have get and some announcements today, so I'll let them make their announcement. Yeah, so in effect, in a very nutshell, is we want you to keep earning, we want you to keep building products, we want you to own assets, right? And we kind of taught you how to, and we also want you to help us own these markets and actually move to the next level.
All right. Needs for super team what speak and speak.
Can I say show of hands? Maybe you predicted World Cup before it happened. Or maybe you knew a Web3 project was going to cook. Or more hands, please. Anybody? So, a lot of people here have been right about some in GM everyone. GM everyone. My name is Toria Dixon. Panta Market and about prediction markets. Intelligence. How Panta's community driven world's next intelligence layer. But before we talk about where prediction markets are going, we need to understand what makes them powerful in the first place. Because it gives us a way to, instead of prediction markets allow people to express that belief. People think about prediction markets. Price of Bitcoin, project we are going to prediction markets of what is possible. About measuring better founders, the already possess valuable knowledge. The challenge has been market infrastructure built on as long as it is publicly to trade outcomes and to end them. And people also creating market. And at Panta, just as places where people communities come together valuable than it transforms over time. Now imagine markets like this. Infinite questions like, will Dangote refinery valuation exceed $40 billion by the end of 2027? Or will the Nigerian Naira stretch against the US dollar by the end of the year. In politics, you can see markets like this. Will the proposed tax reform before December? And trade on questions like, will now 2030 FIFA World Cup? Let me ask, do you think Nigeria will qualify? Qualify? You can create markets on Panther and trade on it, right? Now in business, markets top. Why raise a Series A before Q2 2027? Now, imagine thousands of markets like this across different cities, different industries, different communities. These markets, they show us how and what intelligence transforms that market into thousands of tweets, one place. Importantly, you may make sense of those having access to more information than ever before. We still struggle to what do people actually stand percent who are willing to stand by. But Panther takes one step further. We measure conviction. We transform that conviction into evidence. As more of our lives move online, infrastructure, knowledge. And that's exactly so I believe the next generation of prediction are the biggest liquidity pools by who captures the world's agents. The future is not just one global prediction market. The future is millions of localized markets, each created by the communities objects best. And as something remarkable begins, stop being just places where people trade. Intelligence aggregated your phones. I see your phone. How about it? Now, to create an account on Panther, your email with stable coins to create or trade right now. Will so do well to sign at or above it at any point from 5th of to trade on those markets. Community cares about, you can head on to Panther to create a market on it. That is how we would begin to create localized intelligence, one community at a time. But finally, you can stop at our booths and we'll have something for you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. A round of applause. That was Soria Dixon, growth lead at Panther Markets. All right, our next speaker, please put your hands together for Peace Audu Poju, representing Zinta Finance. Peace Audu Poju is the Chief Product Officer at Zinta, where she leads product strategy for stablecoin-powered payment infrastructure. Please, a round of applause.
Do you love me? Do you want me? Put your hands all on my body. Don't worry.
Keep clapping, please, as she comes on stage.
Oh, baby. Do you love me? Do you want me? Put your hands all on my body. Don't worry. Go crazy. Go crazy.
Slay, 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 slay. It's a banger, you already know. Eleganza, pass it go. Give me your idols, one day go. The show, Atlanta, we go. Slay, 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 slay.
Or good afternoon, Chief Product Officer. I'm going to be starting with a single observation. I'm sure we've all clocked it, like they say, but let me just bring this back up. Over the last decade, we've made it incredibly easy to hire a developer in Kenya and raise capital in London for clients around the world. Of the barriers to scaling your have remained the same. The border is running so completely systems. For companies expanding into these issues grow. That is the decided to sit and solve for 2 years. If you look at the current banking system, let's say you're a payment provider now, and your client decides, okay, he wants to expand his operations from Germany to Ghana. What you're going to notice as soon as you try to pay someone in Ghana is that there are multiple banks in this operation. There's a correspondent bank in New York, another in London, payments in Ghana. This estimated fee let let me build my own local infrastructure. In Africa is manageable, even honest. But when you want to enter, you find the real issue. What happens is that you realize that every market has its own different set of compliance requirements alongside regulations. So instead of building features for your customers, what you end up doing is building local infrastructure. And that takes time, it takes effort, it takes money. And this is time you could spend making your features and your products better for your customers. So the opportunity, the access is not. So this matters, and this matters now, because as you can see, there's $150 billion that comes to Africa every year. There's $2 trillion in cross-border trade, and more than 500 million people are going to be onboarded onto fintech products by 2030. So stablecoins have made a good amount of change to how money moves. It's cheaper, it's around the clock. 11 p.m., the person receives it by 1. Businesses still need access to local, and that's what we do at Zinta. At Zinta, fintechs, businesses, receivements across the African markets through of you building for your customers one by one. Maybe you build for Egypt today, and then in 2 months you're building for Ghana. We can offer you these APIs that will allow you to transact in these regions through one single access. Behind that single API, we manage liquidity management, local banking connections, as well as licensing. So you can focus on building products, and we build the underlying infrastructure that holds your products. So here's how it works. So a payment partner, or a business, or a fintech, sends funds, which could be, let's say, fiat currency, or even stable coin. And there are multiple RFIs from the bank, or there are issues where the funds need to be refunded. We are routing your transaction through licensed corridors where compliance checks happen throughout the transaction. The funds are then settled either as stablecoin or as fiat. This is depending on the transfer instruction or the destination country. So we're able to do a that gives you access to multiple African. We have processed over 300 million in transaction volume. We have onboarded 105 corridors live, and more that are currently being two of Africa's biggest banking groups. These miles matter, and they should matter to you too, by the biggest names in financial institutions to move really African markets. Each for more value to the customer out there. One API. So there's no more integration, but you have ways. And it's quite to be honest. When a payment company wants to expand into another African market or wants to expand into another global market, to be honest, they shouldn't have to think about multiple fragments. They shouldn't have to think about banking relationships. They should never building. Or you're looking to booth at Zinto Finance. We can build with you. And
thank you very much. Before we call up the next speaker to make, it has come to my notice that a lot are moving around too much, and the media team is not. Please, if you do not have a seat, find a seat now, and please make sure to fill up the collective and successful gathering. I need you guys seated. Booth activity. Please pause your booth activity. We are reopened of the time to go and explore. All right, thank you very much. How are you enjoying the session so far? Good? Covenant. Also known as Daryl. Daryl at Rome. Please. Harry.